I think we are good to go. So just start by this one. So today I'm gonna do a few things. First of all, I have monitor on for the first time, so I can hear myself, which is annoying, and I might turn it off. Anyway, so I have this little project going on where I cannot handle this myself in my head. So I have this little project going on where I would like to do an AI agent with Martinus text. So you can basically do an advanced version of AI. So you can prompt his texts. And I'll start by going over what you can do or what the intention is. I have a new version basically. I saw it working the other day. I cannot get in contact with it right now, but I hope it's working when everything goes live with the stream and all that. So I'll just give a brief overview and then I'll actually show what it can do. And then I might just keep working on it. I'll try to put this one on again. So I cannot do it. Let me just turn that off. Here we go. Good. So let me show what it is. That was that one. Hope you can see this. So essentially, when you have a normal chat GPT, then you can write a prompt to it. That's essentially when you ask it for something, right? Who is Martinus? What is whatever? All those kind of things you do. And what chat GPT can do, and it's called a large language model, is basically to take your prompt and then it essentially guesses on each word after each other. So the first word, it takes the word that has to the chat GPT the highest probability. And then it find the next word by taking the word that has the highest probability. And then it goes on like that. So it can basically generate text for you based on probability. So that doesn't mean, obviously, it's not completely random. It's trained to find the right text and all those kind of things. So it actually gives some good answers, I would say. But it's still a guess. But that's one thing. The other thing is that, for instance, if you want to get the latest news, I know some of them have started to actually pull things from the web. But what I would like to do is basically enable some AI to pull a lot of things in order to give the best possible answer. So what that is called is basically an AI agent, and that's what I'm building right now. And it's still early days, but it's still I did a live stream a couple of weeks, so 3 weeks ago, something like that, and that was only a very small part of it. And now it has taken another step. I'm not completely satisfied with how it works right now, but it's still a step in the right direction. And I would I'll show how that is working. Let me just take a quick one here. Sorry, 1 second. To see how it works. It works fine. Okay. So what was in the last version of the AI was basically this, what is called a vector database. And the way it works is that Martinus has written 10,000 pages, and there's also these lectures and all those kind of things. And I'm not sure I can get it all in there. It's also, yeah, we'll see. But just sending everything to, let's say, the main work of Martinus, which is this book, which is 2,500 pages. If you just wanted to prompt that part, it's a lot to send to the AI every time. So what you want to do is basically try to find the most relevant for whatever prompt you're giving it, whatever question you have. So the way it actually works is that you have what is called a vector database, and essentially you chunk your text into a lot of pieces and you assign, it's called embedding. You're essentially assigning a number to that piece of text. And the idea here is, and I pretty much made it last time, this one. So the idea is, let's say you have images of apples, potatoes, and bananas. And the idea is the way you give each, in this example I just gave, it's fruits. But in the case of an AI from Martinus, it will be the text pieces or sections. So the idea is that the numbers you're actually giving it makes the text that are similar to each other close to each other in this vector space. A vector space, if you have the X and Y axis here, that would be a 2-dimension vector space. If you have the Z, is that whatever dimension here as well, then it's a 3-dimension vector space, and you can have hundreds and hundreds of these dimensions in the vector space. So you can place these similarities in many different ways. So the idea is that you check the whole thing, and that's something I have to work more with. But right now I have a vector database where I have Livets Bog, or the Book of Life, volume 1 to 5, in that vector space. And it's quite simple, just chunk for every 1,000 characters or letters, put that piece into it. And that can be done smarter, but that's, you gotta start somewhere, just see if it actually works. So I have this vector database, and what you can do then is to prompt it, or you can ask, or you can put in the new text you have, let's say a living being, and then this whole mechanism here takes that word, do the same transformation from a word or from a text into a number, and then it finds similar text pieces that you can use. So it's a kind of filtering, and maybe I should, maybe at some point I will actually paint it or do a figure with it. But essentially, you have all the information, all the documentation in this vector database, and you can prompt it with, you can search for different relevant information in that database. So that's what happened last time with the last one. That was just this vector database, and the AI could say something about my stream is having an issue. Okay, I'm not sending sufficient data right now. It has dropped 1 frame. I'm sending 30 frames per second. Well, maybe there is a problem. Yeah. No. I think it's okay. Come on. Okay, so it's the first time I had an issue with my stream, and it seems like I've run one frame, maybe. What is that? One. 1 second. Oh, that was a lot of frames dropped. It's dropping frames right now. It's dropping all the frames. Damn. I don't know what is going on. Seems like the stream is dropping frames. Never tried that before. I have no idea why that is happening. Open. Stream quality is good. Stream quality has errors again. Now it's really dropping frames. Why is that happening? Okay, I don't know. It just keeps dropping frames. Doesn't send anything. Turn down the bitrate. Maybe that works. So let's see. Yeah, seems like it's working again. Cool. Let me just do one more thing. Okay, this was not what I planned for. Oh, crap. Almost there. Here we go. Okay, where were we? There. So I talked about the vector database, and that was essentially what it could do last time. That's essentially taking the prompt, sending it to the vector database. So what I wanted to do this time is essentially to get this AI agent started. So that's essentially version 2 of it. So what I can do with the agent is, well, it has this large language model, which is essentially a ChatGPT, can actually be ChatGPT or something similar. There are many different versions of that. So that's where this agent can actually use this model to figure out what to do. That's the AI, that's the intelligence it has, if you like. So then it has a memory, so it actually can remember what is going on. And then it has some tools. Maybe I should just put that here. So these are tools. Not easy to see. So the way this is working is, again, there's a call coming in here. That could be, what is the living being? We'll try to do that. Hello there. Someone is in the chat. I like that. Not used to this. Meme batcha. Alrighty. Okay. Now it start to complain about my bitrate. God damn it. Okay, let's try it out and see if it's actually working. Let me see if I can see if it's actually working. Welcome aboard. How to start my, if I want to be an ethical hacker. Let me see if I can fix the stream first. There we go. That was not enough. I'll be there in a second. Okay, let's see if it is working. Maybe the stream start having. Yeah, I did. Let me just switch to what is happening here. So I'm almost there. So it has actually run. Need you created this? Let me just go through it. So essentially what I can do now is that I can scroll through the different answers. So these are old ones. I really hope this is working. Nothing happened on that one. Something happened here. These are old ones. Yeah. So this, here we go. So yeah, I can explain that. Essentially, the way I've done it is I have a stream bot running on. I have two computers, so maybe I can make a screenshot just to show how it's done. But maybe I should just draw it in another one. Okay. So the way I've done it is basically I have two computers. You don't need two computers, but that's what I have right now because sometimes it just takes some resources to do it. So essentially, both are running Windows, but I think you can basically run it on whatever you like. So I have two computers, but you can have it on one. So let's just say it's all on one computer. So the first part is getting the command you have, and I'm using something called streamerbot. And And that took me a little while to get that up and running. But I got that up and running. And then I use something called, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, N8N. Natomation, I think they pronounce it. So if you like, you can check that out. That's essentially a workflow system. And you know what? Let me take a screenshot. And I will save it. There we go. Okay, let me give you the bigger picture first. Where's the screenshot? Just saved it here. Good. Okay, so sure. Is that fine? Whoa, it's alive. Okay, so I have the streamer bot, and that enables me to use webhooks here. Are you technical? So this is a webhook. And then it's called this N8 system, and I will show you here. So forget about what's in that corner. So there are essentially two things that are going on here. The first part is to create the vector database. So what is happening there is, and it's been a while, I have a folder on a Google Drive. So it searches that Google Drive, it finds all the files, it loops over all the items, and it embeds it into the database. So that's essentially I got too much stuff going on here. This one, no. Yeah, you should be able to put in the AI. Give it a shot. I think you should be able to do like this. Just use the exclamation mark AI, and then it should work. Yeah, the AI is pretty stupid. So you're not okay. So the way I could actually send it into the chat, but the thing right now, it gives some pretty long answers. So what I have done here instead is to write some Python scripts. So instead of putting it into the chat, I write it out as a text file. And furthermore, so it's there right now. So now I have two unprocessed ones, the one I wrote and the one you wrote. So that's, and now I have a stream deck. I think right now I'm only giving you 25% of what is going on. But anyway, I've written a Python script that can actually give the stats and all that, but I also have another one that takes the next file. Let me show you what is happening here and not make it too much of a mess. Let me just clean it up. Can I not show all that? Okay, too bad. New files, new files. Where are we? There. I think my chat is missing. Anyway, so essentially what is happening here is that it outputs 2 files. And when I push a button, do that now, it actually overwrites another file that is shown in OBS, and then it moves the file. So that's fairly simple. And what is happening is that it comes up to come on. I'm not used to streaming. Can I really not do that? Here we go. So that's my first answer. So now you can see there's 1 unprocessed, and we have processed 5 today. What I actually do for living, I'm teaching right now. I'm an IT guy. Anyway, let's try yours. This should actually get yours here. Yeah, so I've worked as an IT developer and manager in IT. So this is just a hobby. Yeah, right now it's like college. We are educating bachelors. Yeah. So kind of similar, not a real university. I've been at at several universities, so it's not entirely like that. Alrighty. There should be an AI2. Did I answer all the questions about the setup? Feels like I haven't. This is where all the magic happens. And this creates a file. I'm not saying this is smart. This is just how it is. So it outputs a file, and this is where it goes to the other computer, actually. So the way it's actually shown is I run some Python stuff. Like that. I should also have let me change that. I should have all the numbers on the other one as well. So when you type AI question, actually I should put one more thing in here. So this is the chat, right? So here you type AI question. I don't know why my Nightbot is starting to talk. Anyway. So this part, when you type that question, how is the weather in Italy or whatever it was, then Nightbot picks up that command. Streamerbot picks up that command. That, I mean, I can also, let me do a screenshot as well for that one. What your programming language should be today? Python, I would say. I think that would make the most sense, depending on what you want to do or be. If you want to be a little bit stronger, maybe in programming, maybe C#, but that's just me being, maybe I'm a little bit old school by that. But Python is a script language, and you can throw something up there pretty quickly, and there's a lot of libraries, and if you want to do AI, data management, all those kind of things, it's essentially Python is the way to go, as I understand it. If you want, I've been in the more business administrative part of things, sort of banks and pension world, and I would probably say something more object oriented, like C#. No, I don't stream every day. I think it's 2 weeks since I streamed last time. So more like, yeah, I don't know. I think I'll do it right now. The plan is to do it twice a month, maybe whenever I can on a Sunday right now. So I haven't really decided. I try to do my long versions of YouTube primarily, but so streaming is just for this AI stuff, just to have a little bit of fun and see if I can make it work actually. I don't know if you know anything about Martinus, but it's a little bit philosophical, so it's quite hard for the AIs to grasp it. I'm from Denmark. Where are you from? Anyway, let me just see if I got the Streamerbot thing. Alrighty, let's get to that one. So this is how Streamerbot looks like, and I'm not saying this is great or anything, but it's how it is right now. So essentially, there's an action here. You can find YouTube videos about this, and there's also a decent documentation. But essentially, it says it triggers with this AI thing, paired AI. Is that what it's called? Anyway, and this is what is happening. So it writes something to the channel, basically, and then there's a counter. So it just get that one. It incremented by 1 because we have called one more time. So when we look at the total calls number, that's the one. It gets incremented every time. It's just for fun. Doesn't really matter. And then I persist it, so I basically save it. Then I don't do anything with that one. So I could actually write another message that I have received. There are so many calls. I just don't do that. So then I write to a file. And you cannot see that, but the first one basically writes the raw input. So let me find a file so I can actually show that. Not that one. This one. Give me my OBS again. Here we go. Okay, so what is going on here? Is that it opens a file and essentially writes the first part here, saying input, tell best places to visit in Italy. So that's the first write thing. Then it states fetch URL, local host. So it's all running locally. We can go more into what it actually is, how it actually works. It's essentially a local setup in a Docker container with a database for the vector thing. So it actually writes here. So you can see it calls localhost. It's a webhook. It's called AI Martinus, and then it gives it the prompt. And then it calls it. It takes whatever 5-10 seconds. It returns whatever happened in this N8N program, and it comes back. And let me see what I write here. The first one writes the input, what I got back from the machine, basically. And then I think I write, why do I do that? Yeah, okay. I just write it to another place, basically. So I write the same thing twice. And then I sent a message to the chat, basically, and states that a response has been made. I could send this quite easily. Just say N8N response. That's the response variable I get from the N8 workflow. And I could just put that into the stream. But right now it provides a response that's that long. And I think one problem is I cannot post that much in the chat. No. So it won't accept that. It only accepts this much. I could probably cut it up in 10 pieces, something like that. I just haven't done that yet. and that would be like a ton of messages. So that's one way to fix that. The other way to fix that is basically saying that just limiting the answer. And I think that's yeah, I would like to give some decent answers actually. I'm looking for an AI agent that can write good blog posts, basically, a wiki article about this Martinus person guy. So yeah, that's basically how it works in some ways. This one I should say, yeah, that's running Ulama and is running on a Docker locally. I think that's pretty much the overall structure of things as they are right now. Here we go. So Ulama, need to look for that. And you need to look for Docker, and then I use something called Quadrant, I believe, for the database right now. So okay, let's finish this. So here, there's some Python to show it in read file. In OBS. And you can find a lot of YouTube videos on that as well. Anyway, so let me switch to something else. So here we go again. So basically, last time I went directly for the vector database. This stream has become way more technical than I thought it would, but that's okay. Yeah, stream seems okay. 2 viewers, not a lot, but it's great. Anyway, so yeah, what I have done this time is essentially, I still have the same vector database, but before I was just asking, there's also an LLM. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. So this one is actually also, part of that is using an LLM as well. So let me drop that chat GBT. So that was why it worked before, that it actually looks up in its database. And then, let me do that. This is way too technical. Anyway. So here we got the DB database. So that's essentially you prompt it with something, you ask, what is the living being? It looks up in the database and it used the LLM to provide an answer. And that's essentially what this AI does. That's the one we have used today. So what I would like to do is try to use AI2 and see if that is working. And that's actually what is the living being? Question mark. So nothing happens, it seems. Or maybe, who knows? But that here is basically that I can give the same question, command, whatever you want to call it, prompt to the AI agent instead of going directly to the vector database. So here I can instruct the AI agent to do what I wanted it to do. So I can say to it, take, if it's what is the living being, according to Martinus, for instance, then I can say, okay, call the vector database, get the same answer as I got before, or a similar answer. Take a look at that answer. Is that something I can use for anything? Take some of the answer and prompt the vector database again to get more information. So one of the issues with the first version was that I only got one answer, and if that was not good enough, it was just too bad. So in this case, I would like to say, okay, keep prompting the vector database. This is where the whole work of Martinus is. So that's essentially, that's where all my information is. But as I said in the beginning of the stream, you cannot necessarily get all of it because you will have to send so much data to the LLM or the AI that it just becomes too much. That's the idea. And you can actually make sure that it has it. So that's the idea here, is that the agent can keep working, keep calling. For now, it only has one tool, the vector database. I talked about last time that there are some indexes I can give it. For instance, if the prompt is what is the living being, it can go to a index, cross-reference, find synonymous, cannot say that word, and then it can get, and that's a human that has made these ones that are specific to Martinus, so it can get other words. For instance, if you go and look for the I, and the I is with an I, like one letter, so that will, for instance, Martinus uses several different words for that. So that will be a tool that the AI agent can get for that. And then it can use those words. So that could be X1, the I, or the director of the living being, and so forth. And then it can go to the vector database and it can get all the information on those different terms if it wants to do that. It can go to this index for references. So it can also say, hey, it can look up X1, for instance, and it can get all the references there is in Martinus' work. And then it can probably, I need to find some way to either pass them on the web or something like that. So it can actually use that, get to the vector database, get that one. Martinus Week is supposed to, that's something I do, have definitions, small articles on different terms. It can pull that one as well. And then it can put all that together, send it to the LLM and say, use this information to write whatever I'm asking it for, 200 words, a chapter in a book, or whatever. And that's pretty much it. Also put Wikipedia on if there's anything Yeah, it's you can look words up as well, right? Something I'm probably not gonna do, but I could also give it a news agent, a news feed. So, for instance, if someone asks, "What will Martinus? What would Martinus think about AI or the latest news in AI, for instance?" Then I can say to the agent, "Hey, please look up the latest news on AI," and then it can. Martinus hasn't written about AI because he died in 1981, so we really didn't have AI like we have today, at least. Actually, was some AI, but he hasn't written anything about it. He has said a little bit about computers and how much they will mean in the future, and this was back in the 50s or 60s, and he said that we would be able to have an overview of all the things that is going on in the world on some big boards if we wanted to do that. And now today we have these thin screens that we can basically put up on the wall, and if we wanted to, technically it would be pretty easy to put up whatever. Anyway, so that's the idea with all this. And right now I'm just trying to get it to use the vector database more than once. And right now I'm just trying to have the streamer bot to pick up what is going on. So what I will do is to check if something actually happened. And I will do one more. Let's try again. Who are you? Right now it doesn't really matter what I'm writing. I just want to see if something is happening here. And it is not. I think that's good news. Because so far it means that the robot is not dead. It's not a robot thing. At least so far. It's a bot thing. It's not an AI thing. It's just yeah, I'll just check it and I'll give it whatever. It's not getting late, but it's getting later. Just do one thing off screen here. Okay, that looks fine. Okay. So what is not happening right now is that it's not picking up, which is annoying. And I know why. I think it's because it's AI2. What is the... Oh, my stomach. What is the living being? Could be fun if I could show you what is going on. I might do a screen share something. So AI2. Nothing happened. Huh. What is going on here? That's a good question. I'm trying to make an AI that can answer question about Martinus' world picture. That's what's going on here. And who are you? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. So the idea is that you can write AI, give it a command like this. Who is Martinus? And some AI stuff will happen. I'm using Olama. Let me. This is basically my setup. So you have the chat, then I have a streamer bot who is listening to what is going on in the chat, and then I'm using N8N for the workflow, and then yeah, I have Olama in a Docker thing, and then I just put an output file and then read that into OBS. That's pretty much it. So okay, cool, thanks. I'll try to make it a little bit better, bigger. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm using N8. It works quite nice. Probably do it all in Python, but I don't. I think I even have it. I don't know. Thank you. Right now it's quite simple. This is just a mess. I'm still just trying to figure out what is going on. So it essentially just takes all the documents, right, put it into a vector database. I should clean it up, I can see. Anyway, and this is the webhook that is called, and then it returns here, and then some things is happening here. So that's the gist of it. I really need to clean up. Just did it the other day. So what ends up happening is basically that it's actually running on two different computers. So I'm running the N8 on a laptop actually, which is a fairly new one, so it works okay. So that picks up the command, and on another computer, the one that I'm not streaming on, and then it puts the file somewhere, and I can go to this mode, and then I have a stream deck where I basically can say here. So now there's one unprocessed one. That's the command we just gave it. And then I have another button. where I can show it on the screen basically. I tried the first time I streamed this. I actually tried to put it into the chat, which would have been more funny. Sure, go ahead. Ask all you want. The only thing I cannot show right now is how to actually. Well, I can. Maybe I can record it actually. We can try that. Should be able to do that. If you give me a second, I will use the AI. Which one? Use the AI 2. And yeah, go ahead and yeah, please ask. Going for broke. Okay, so something happened. And if you give. I'm not sure I can see it actually. Okay, so right now I don't have anything that. Well, it might take a minute before it actually moves the file from one drive to another, which I have to fix that. So it moves immediately. Yeah, I know it's not posted. So what happened? So here it's just answering that it has made it essentially had it actually states what it has done. It has generated the answer. So now I have an input file, an output file. Let me. I don't know if I reveal too much actually when I do this. It's just my drives. It should be fine. Let me just show it. There. Yeah. So now I got, these are all the old files. And here we got the new file. And if I go back to this one, and I actually update it, then you can see there's one unprocessed. And now I have a stream deck. So now I can push the next button. And here you have it. And then I can actually read it. Are there corollaries between Martinus' works and Carl Jung Eons? Response: I'd be happy to help answer your question based on Martinus' teaching. Please go ahead and ask your question. So I didn't even figure out that there was a question, right? So the infrastructure is there, but the AI is not really there. Let me put it that way. Which one did you ask? Yeah, I mean, that's so now all that is kind of working. It can probably be optimized so the file comes immediately and the statistics are updated and all those kind of things. But that's the next part, right? Try to improve the AI, basically. And that's the LLM. Right now I'm just using Llama 3.2, so it's not a very strong one, which is, it's kind of, well, it's a little bit annoying that it should be good enough basically. So it's all about writing the right prompts basically, but it's not very smart. I could also use ChatGPT or Claude or DeepSeek or whatever. You can put everything in there. You just call and you make an API call and that's it. But for now, I do the other way around. Yeah, you can say that. I think the biggest challenge is that the concepts are quite difficult for humans to understand. Even so, getting that one to understand it is tricky. But I have actually it has been giving me some decent answers. Um, but it's the hit rate is not really good right now. But I hope with all did I show you how much you do I know you actually? Um, sound like you know about Martinus. I had another one that didn't know anything. So have you seen this one? This is basically the architecture of what I intend to do. Okay. I talked about it a bit earlier on the stream, but I guess it's a stream, so it's okay. So my first version of this was essentially this vector database. Does that mean anything to you? What that is? I haven't worked with them for long. I haven't worked a lot with them either, but the idea is basically that you take all the work of Martinus, and it's 10,000 pages, right? So it's a lot of information to put into an AI. It's basically you can tell it so many words, and then it costs a lot, basically. So yeah, it's kind of a compendium in a way. It's you can also call it a filter. So what you essentially does, imagine if you had images of fruits, then you would do what they call embedding. So if you have an apple, it will be this. It will be so. This is essentially a coordinate system. I don't know what it's called in English, but you have X, you have Y, and you had the Z here. So you have an embedding essentially. So whatever text you have is given a number. So the idea is that if it was images, all the apples would be in this area. A coordinate system. Thank you. All the apples would be in one area. All the oranges would be in a second area, and all the bananas would be in a third one. This is the idea here. So then you put all the text into this vector database, and it doesn't have just 3 dimensions. It can have hundreds of thousands of them. So all the text pieces will be closer or longer from each other depending on how much they look alike. And I don't know how this look-alike works honestly yet. I'm afraid it's just some words and no really. I don't know how smart it is, but it's actually a large language model that does it. So it's not completely idiotic. It's not just matching words one by one. There's some meaning to it. I just haven't looked into it yet. But that's essentially. So anyway, so we make this vector database, and then the idea is basically that you put in, when you come with your prompt, basically, let's say you say, what is the living being as it described by Martinus? Then you embed that one, and then you get a number or a vector, basically, and then it can say, if it was the images, it could say, okay, this is actually an apple, or it's an orange, or it's a banana. So the idea here is to actually put living being, for instance, into this vector database, and then you should get all the pieces of text by Martinus about the living being. maybe in a year, maybe in 5 years, you can put all the stuff in there. I think we're pretty close to some of the biggest models right now, but well, it's also a little bit for fun, this project, but that's how it works. So the first version I did was essentially to make this vector database and then prompt it. That's the AI. Considered an HBA cyber for your vector map. Oh. Okay, you know something about it. Cool. I barely know what it is, but I'll write it down. HBHA. What's that? Cool. What I'm using is I use something called a nomic embed text. I have no idea what. Do I know what that is? No. I have some options. It's a little bit annoying that I cannot show it to you. So I can, right now it's really simple. It's just cutting the text for every 1000 characters. It makes a new chunk. So all the sections in Martinus' work is just completely messed up in a way. And it also means that right now I cannot do references. So that's one thing I want to do. If it actually pulls some information, I want it to. Okay, yeah, that's embedding, right? Tokenizing. Is that the same? Tokenizing is giving it a number, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I have an embedding running, obviously, but yeah, I would like to embed it on, if you take the Book of Life, just take all the sections and embed that or tokenize that. I don't know. It's also going to be a little bit of an experiment. But right now I don't have, I need to do some data processing on the books in order to do that. But don't. What do you mean? Is there coincidences? Sure. No, that's cool. I'm happy. How do we communicate? That's more like that. Do I want to put some info here? Yeah, I can. Okay. I don't know how often I will be online, actually. Maybe on Sundays. Do you want my email, or how is the smartest way to? I think it could be interesting to get some. Let me just put it out there. That one should work. Yeah, that could be cool. What would be a place to meet? What kind of group? Where? I think I can do Discord. I would prefer not to do Facebook. Yeah, whatever, basically. I mean, I have an old Discord server. I thought about setting up a new one, so I can just do that. It's not crazy difficult. And get one of those started. I think there are a couple of them, but they're completely dead right now. So, but we can just start one. Another one would be Reddit, but I think that's cool. Do I want to do it now? Yeah. And you cannot be private in the same way on Reddit. Yeah. Let's do Discord. I think that's, and you can also set up a lot of things to, yeah, bots and all that, notification and things. Cool. I will. Rikos. Yeah. I can't remember my own right now. Yeah, we can. Right now, it's actually running locally on my machine, so it has to be turned on. But I'm actually thinking about getting. I don't think it's a server of some kind. So we can actually run it in online or hosted, a hosted solution. I think it costs like $5 a month or something, and it's essentially nothing. That could be pretty funny to try to do that. But it's nice to have all the things locally and be able to test things out. Also, yeah, pretty cheap. And if you run it locally, it's basically free, right? I don't know if you run it on a hosted solution. You probably have to use an API for ChatGPT or something like that, and that can. I don't know how quickly that actually runs money wise, but my work is actually paying some of it right now, and I think you can pay $20, and when it runs out, it just stops. So it shouldn't be the worst. So we can do that. Cool. Okay, I got another thing to do. Discord. Local control or directed control. Yeah. What do you mean? Ways around the limits through local control. Directed control. Yeah, exactly. I'm running everything I can locally. One thing though, there's only so much you can run locally. The models you run, they can only be so big that, I mean, that they are quite limited in some ways. But until things are getting more smooth and just working with the prompts and trying to get the agent to do what you want it to do, it's a little bit back and forth, and then you change one word. It's like programming in a natural language where you cannot debug, you can just try it out, change something, try it again, see how it does, and it doesn't give you the same answer every time. It's really something else. I was working on it the other day, and I wanted to call this vector database more than one time just to get better answers. And at the end, I was basically stating you need to call this tool at least 3 times. And then it actually started calling it more than 1 time or 0 times sometimes. And then I did a little change that had nothing to do with the agent, and then it stopped calling it more than once again. It was just annoying. Version control. Everything is just a little bit different, but yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah. But there's only one way, right? That's work on it and get the experience and all that. What should I call the server? I think I'll make doing it. And I gotta admit, I'm using ChatGPT quite a lot to help me through stuff. That's pretty impressive sometimes what it can do. The only thing it's running on old versions of N8N, which is a little bit annoying. So it suggests things that are just very old. And you don't get that if you use Python or programming languages. But it is what it is. But then you actually learn it. So, cool. I will. Yeah, maybe I'll just start the server now. Yeah, it's really good for integrations. That's what you mean, right? It's pretty impressive. But my experience so far is that I spent most of the time trying to get the integrations to work because I run it locally. I don't think that's the issue all the time, but there are some of them where I also had to figure it out in the beginning. I wanted to do integration with is it Telegram, and you cannot do that unless you set some tunnel work up so you can get things to get to a local machine, and do you really want to do that and all those kind of things. So yeah, for now I might run one hosted version and one local version, and then you can get it up and running locally. Yeah. I mean, I've gotten some cool things to run actually, but it just, you have to keep pushing. Yeah, I'll do that. Let me see. Did I get a? Yeah, I'll put it. I'll for sure put it in the comment to this video. And I think I will also put it on the channel page as well. And then I don't think I'm linked up directly to that. It might take a while before I get your email if you send it. Like a while is an hour. Add server, create my own. Yes. Cool. Thanks. Happy to hear that. Let's call it a community. Great. because yeah, I cannot invite you directly. Mm. God. Come on. Ugh. Yeah, I'm trying to do that. Invite friends. I send a server invite link. The problem is I get, let's see what happens. I get that one. So I don't get the link. Damn it. Where are my friends here? Direct messages. Here we go. Add friend. Oh, he goes. Okay, so now I send us friend request. So far, so good. I think I might give you. Yeah, I think I will give you some admin rights to Discord if you. I'm not. I'm not great at. I actually set up some bots and stuff some years ago, but right now it feels like it's been a while since I used Discord. Well, I'm using it. I'm reading, but I'm not administrating things. Okay, that's a good point. There we go. Brilliant. Works. You have to imagine all the fireworks. So invite. Ah, sorry. Your first app. Yeah. Let me see if I can give you some stars on your shoulder. Add role. Nope. Yeah, I thought I would just give you some. Basically, just give you some rights to do that. Enable community. Oh my god, there are like a ton of things. Roles. Create role, something like that. Admin. What do? What should we call it? Mod. What do you feel like? I give you a mod role. View channel, manage channel. Want to do webhooks, manage server, create invite. Yeah, I've called it a mod. Collaborator, I like that one. Let's call it a mod. And give you some real power here. That would be great. Yeah. I think it's at least 5 years ago I played around with Discord. I can also give you I mean, I can give you some more. You know what? I'm gonna give you. Cool. Thanks. Oh my god, there's so many. Oh, okay. Different members. I like that one. So move members, set voice channel. Okay. Let me get out of this. Add server. No. Code of reality. Oh, there we go. No. Do I have a link for it? Discover. Brilliant. I think I'm there. Code of reality. Wow, that's a fairly big one. Oh my god, that's a lot. The reality project. Interesting. Okay, that's something. Okay, thanks. Stuff to do, stuff to do. You know what? Treat everyone with respect. Sounds good. Absolutely no harassment. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I can do that. Nice. Maybe I should probably have sent you another email address. I think I have it as something that pings it every hour. $18 minutes ago. Yeah, it's okay. Check email now. Yeah, I send it to you. I give you my main one. It's everywhere. It doesn't really matter. But that's my. That one should work. The other one should work as well. There we go. Thank you. Oh, that's a different one. Let me step out of. The wrong one. Okay, cool. Now I think I got the right one. Spirituality. Cool. Cool. I'll see. I have a few others that might be interested in this that I will ping about it. So that would be nice. That's our team has made a discovery. Yes. Let's see what I mean, the tools are there. It's just about putting in the work and get it and get it to work basically. It, but that's also the issue, getting the time for it, pushing. But I can do that. Cool. It's yeah, I'll see. Let me see if I can. I'll try to find some time tomorrow. We are focused on AI exactly. Yeah, something like that. Work is just beginning. Quantum computers, they are. That's a little bit too early. They're not there yet, but who knows in 10 years? Something like that. Yeah. Not 10 years. This year. Quantum computers? Who can make them? I think Google did a little one. I think, what was it? 100 bits or what they're called something else. I don't know enough about it. But okay. Come with your bold claim. Or is the bold claim this year? That's a pretty bold claim, I would say. Below the quantum. Okay. Quantum, that's what atoms are made of. Or something. Yeah, quantum mechanics. Yeah, I heard a podcast at some point that it was something that is it the atoms can be in, or the electrons, I think, whatever. Something can be in two different states at the same time. And then they could do something over and over again that they could figure out these usually pretty tough questions because they are, yeah, something like that. And then you could go back and forth, and at some point you could figure out that the right state, you could find it with 99.999% certainty, and then that was the way you could calculate. You were not really, it was not like the normal computers where you, that they're deterministic, right? So they know 2 plus 2 is 4. That's just boom, no questions asked. And here you would probably get something like 2 plus 2 is, with 99.999% certainty, 4. But just for a crazy big calculation. And you will get it like that. That's, but I haven't really looked into it that much. Well, nice channel you have here. Rules. Boney McKickass. How old are you guys? Cool. Do that. Can I answer this one? Announcement. These kind of things. Nice. What is that? Yeah. Did I do that right? Yeah. Okay. I'll just add a couple of channels to the Discord and then I have a couple of newsletters. Well, one actually. And I think I will. Yeah, let's see. I'll see if I can get. I have a couple of names that I will. That will ping. I don't know how technical they are. Thanks. Oops. Now you see everything in here. General. General, that's just everything, right? Oh, there. Welcomes, rules, all that. I have to go to a seminar in a couple of days, and I think it'll potentially one of the most boring ones for a while. So maybe I will check it out there. Artificial intelligence. Cool. Okay. It's I'll put up some. I'll look into it. Okay, what did I plan to do that I did not do? Let me see. Can I stream next weekend actually? Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Got it. I'll take a look at it. I don't think I'll do it right now. Uh, don't know exactly what time zone you're in, but it's getting close to 10 o'clock. So I think I will. 10K page. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. Um, yeah, let me just post where you can. Not, I mean, Martinus is Danish, right? So he wrote. Hmm, have they moved it? Gotta be kidding me. You can find it here. Okay, yeah, so Martinus is Danish, so not everything is translated to English yet. The ultimate thing would be to do this in Danish, but problem is all the language models are trained on English, so I don't want to do it in Danish. It's probably a little bit more accurate, uh, the original work, but the understanding of the Danish language is not helping. So we'll start with the English ones, and it also fits the channel and everything's fine. But I will admit that because I'm Danish, I read it mostly in the original language, what Martinus has written. So it's sometimes hard to figure out what whether the answers that comes from the large language models are actually, it sounds pretty good. What is lost in translation? I don't know how much is lost in translation. I haven't read. I've read some of it in English, and I know there are certain things. I also know the main translator very well, and she's doing a fantastic job on setting, and she has been interested in this for many years, so she knows the work very well. But it's like every time you read it, you get something new out of it, and when you take the Danish version and put it into the English one, kind of take what you understand and put it into the next one, so there will be some things. And I also know Swedish. That's probably that has been translated for many years, and it has been read by a lot of Swedish people. That also Swedish and Danish is pretty similar, but there are also things, and it's tiny little things sometimes that just kind of makes the intention of things a little bit different. But that's just how it is. I would trust the translations. That's that's the only other option you have is to learn Danish, and that's a pretty big effort. So we should just trust it and try to get the best out of. And for now, the biggest issue for me is actually not so much the translations; it's more the answers the AI is giving me. There are just some things where it uses some words where I'm like, what is it even talking about? Or is it precise enough? Those kind of things. But it's still early days in what I'm trying to do here. So yeah, maybe we can instruct it to answer in simple terms, not too philosophical or something like that. Yeah, that's the yeah. I don't think it's so. I mean, there are stories about the Bible and things that has been left out and things like that, and that's not the case here. It's literally translate it sentence by sentence and almost word by word if it's possible. There are few things in Danish you cannot say in the same way in English. And Martinus has also invented his own words. I mean, some of the words he's using is not really Danish words. It's something he invented to describe what he needed to describe. So you also need some creativity to translate it as well, because it's not really existing in the actual language. But yeah. But that's how it is. And I think the way to go right now is to go with the English versions, because yeah, everything is in English. Yeah. They're just thing. I think it's, I can't remember there are some examples where it's just completely off if you just do it word by word, basically. So as a begotten. What is a begotten? Ah, okay, it's the translation. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just, when I talk about Martinus in English, I'm just throwing it out there. And I might also do some weird things now and then, but that's how it is for now. So, but yeah, cool. I will. Maybe I should try to get a little bit more online. There were a few people stopping by today. Cool. Nice meeting you or whatever this is. And let's see where it goes. I'll just keep trucking on things. I might actually teach a AI agent course later this year, so I can actually do a little bit of this in my work time because I have to prepare. Yeah, I haven't talked to my boss about that one, but anyway, he doesn't care. Cool. I will see if I can end this one. Yeah, I heard about it. MCP. Is it some kind of protocol? Model context protocol. Yeah, that's gonna be for tomorrow. Yeah. What is it used for? Okay, what is it used for? Okay. What is the MCP? AI. Okay, yeah, it's a protocol. So it is, instead of using APIs, you give it MCP. Whatever that can, what can that do? Versus API. Oh. Oh my god. Yeah. It says it can run. You can edit runtime. So when I use an API, I need to code it basically. But if you use it at MCP, you can just put it out there and the AI can pick it up on the fly, I guess. That's pretty cool. That's pretty. That's well. That's good thinking. Huh. Okay, that's for another day. It's 10 o'clock. I will post on the Discord channel, I guess, when I'm online again. It's probably gonna be next Sunday. I think I don't have a lot of time during the week. Who knows? And I have to learn to end these things. Thanks for joining, and I have to drop out. Thank you. Bye.